Today we're going to be talking about one of the most underrated hacking groups known as LuLzSec. The group was labeled a black hat hacking group by many news outlets and organizations, and while the members did do black hatting to various degrees, the group was more of a gray hat hacking group. LuLzSec was short for Lul Security, or basically just laughing at your security, and that was really their motto, laughing at your security since 2011. The group started and ended in 2011, and they hacked various different individuals and companies. And the group's original logo was of a man that had a top hat and an eyeglass having a glass of wine with the rainbow cat theme in the background with all your base are belong to LuLzSec also in the background. The members were originally an anonymous, but they disbanded into LuLzSec. The reason being was because Anonymous had many rules that members had to follow. Some of the rules that Anonymous has is you're only supposed to do things for political reasons, and you aren't supposed to hack the press and other corporations, especially if you have no reason to. The reason they started LuLzSec was to make a PR disaster for companies so the customers know how secure their data was, and this was really just to promote customers really just questioning who they're actually relying on. The co-founders were American Hector Monsegur, known under the alias as Sabu, and UK resident Mustafa Al-Bassam, known under the alias Tiflo. Sabu seemed to be more of the decision maker and the group leader, and he was in charge of who the group would hack. Mustafa was mostly in charge of the group's website security, which was LulSecurity.com. The group has a large history of attacks, all being within 2011. It started when Fox.com made a statement about calling the rapper Common vile on air, and the group did not like this. So the group's first main hack was on the Fox's website, and they released passwords and usernames of employees and their LinkedIn profile accounts and passwords. And they also released 73,000 of X Factor's contestants' personal information. The group even tried to hack into Nintendo, but they said they didn't do anything because they claimed to like the N64 too much. And on June 11th, the group hacked into a well-known adult website and obtained 26,000 email addresses and passwords, and once they obtained the emails, they located 2 emails of the Malaysian government officials, as well as 3 users with the US military email addresses. After this breach happened, Facebook locked all the accounts associated with the emails because they feared the users on the site would be hacked by LuLzSec. Facebook then urged its users to make sure that they're using different password combinations on other websites and not to use the same one. LuLzSec hacked into Bethesda and obtained the information of 200,000 accounts, but decided to refrain from posting them publicly and instead posted to Twitter saying, "Bethesda, we broke into your site 2 months ago. We had all of your Brink users for weeks. Please fix your junk. Thanks." On June 14th, the group took down 4 websites, a part of their fan requests. These were Minecraft, League of Legends, and The Escapists. They even hacked into the login servers of EVE Online and disabled the website. These attacks were mostly done through DDoS attacks, also known as a distributed denial of service. To summarize this quickly, it's basically when a hacker has a network and/or computers that have been infected with malware, allowing them to be controlled remotely by a hacker. These devices, which are controlled, are called bots, and altogether as a group they are a botnet. When the hacker has a site targeted, they can simply run a file on their computer and basically have full control to do whatever they want on the victim's PC. Then the hacker can send an entire botnet which will send requests to the target's IP address, which will usually cause the entire network or server to be overwhelmed, resulting in a denial of service to normal traffic. Lots of individuals in the hacking community will state that this isn't really a form of hacking because it's actually extremely easy to do, so the hackers that usually get caught doing this were not being careful, i.e. using their computer or their friends' computers and using a VPN that was logging their whereabouts. These were the attacks that Lizard Squad was most known for, and who I also talked about in a previous video. Nowadays, this is a very serious and highly illegal crime, and you could go to jail for up to 10 years with possibly a $500,000 fine. Just 2 days later, on June 16th, LuLzSec posted 62,000 emails and passwords to Mediafire due to support the group was having on 4chan/bboard. The group did not say which websites the combinations were for, but they told their followers to plug into various different websites and see which ones work. And for those who aren't aware, Anonymous actually started from 4chan/bboard. This is because users on /bboard have an anonymous profile and nothing can be traced back to them. But that's a video for another day. The group even hacked into Infogard, which is a non-profit organization affiliated with the FBI. FBI. They ended up leaking InfoGuard's members' emails and passwords. The group defaced the website, posting the message, "Let it flow, you stupid FBI battleships." The group even hacked into the British National Health Service and informed them of their vulnerability, and they did not do anything malicious. And they even hacked into the US Senate by releasing senators' passwords and email accounts. They even distributed a DDoS attack against the CIA.gov's website and took the website down briefly, as well as hacking several sites in Portugal, those being of the Bank of Portugal and several government agencies. The group really gained notoriety when they teamed up with Anonymous, who is more of an idea than an actual collection, but they joined up with Anonymous for a full collection of hackers for Operation Anti-Security, or Operation Anti-Sec. This movement was really about bringing security to the public's attention by taking websites offline and showcasing the different vulnerabilities many websites have, as well as individuals who use the same password for multiple accounts. Operation Anti-Sec's first target was the Serious Organized Crime Agency, a law enforcement agency in the UK, and the team took the website offline. This was done through what appeared to be a DDoS attack, but the group stated that actual hacking was done. Some other websites that the group took down were Brazil.gov and Presidencia.gov. After this, 2 members reportedly leaked logs of a member in the group. The member's name was Ryan Clearly, and the reason why they leaked it is still unknown to this day. And at this point, Operation Anti-Security started to get a lot of press in the news. Some people even started publicly tagging Anti-Sec on various buildings in San Diego and other areas. And some news agencies blamed the group for taggings that were not even related to Anti-Sec as well. The group members were involved in Operation Tunisia, which was then hacking the Tunisian government because originally they were censoring many different people from the internet. Some of the members of the group even made a code that allowed the citizens of Tunisia to bypass these censorships, and many Tunisians thanked the hackers for doing this. On June 23rd, the team released a number of documents belonging to the Arizona Department of Public Safety, which they titled F the Border Patrol. The leaked items included account details and classified documents of the employees working there. The team said that this was in protest to the law in Arizona that passed that would require aliens to carry registration documents at all times. And the state of Arizona's Public Safety Department even made a statement that said that this would endanger the lives of police officers that were working for the state. The following day, on June 24th, the group released personal information of the president of Brazil, Dilma Rousseff, and the mayor of Sao Paulo, Gilberto Kassab. Then the next day, the group claimed that they were going to retire, but first they were going to release their finale. The team released internal information from AT&T, the IP address of Sony, Disney, and many other companies, also 750,000 username and password combinations from various different websites. This also included 200,000 emails and passwords from hackforms.net. Then, after stating that they retired, on July 18th, LuLzSec hacked into The Sun, which is a British newspaper. The group redirected the newspaper's traffic to a hacked redesign of The Sun with a fake story of Rupert Murdoch claiming that he died after being poisoned. After this, the group redirected the traffic from The Sun to LuLzSec's Twitter page and quickly gained over 200,000 followers. The reason for this attack was because The Sun was accused of hacking into celebrities' accounts and stealing information from their personal devices. Some of these hacks caused outrage amongst other hackers. This led to hackers trying to take down LuLzSec. The hacking group Team Poison was able to identify one of the members that designed LuLzSec's website. Then a hacker known as the Jester, who has still never been identified himself, actually identified the group leader, who was known as Cebu, who lived and worked in New York City. The hacker said he did this because he felt the group was childish, and he said that he did these actions out of patriotism. And the Jester's laptop is even in the National Spy Museum in DC, but this is actually for something not related to this. And interestingly enough, he was even tied to Anonymous and worked with various different members of LuLzSec before, that being Jake Davis, also known as Topiary, when he took down the Westboro Baptist Church live on an interview.
This guy who's called Jester, I would give him a big hug. I'm talking big.
I was just going to say, just in the time Shirley was blabbing her religious preach, I actually did some business. And I think if you check downloads.westboro Baptist Church right now, you'll see a nice message from Anonymous.
BaptistChurch.com. Anonymous, are you taking responsibility for this?
Yep, we just did it right now, this very second.
So how were most of these members found and caught? This was mostly through their leader, Cebu. Cebu was the group's founder and leader. He decided who the group would attack. And Cebu was arrested in June 2011 and identified as being a 29-year-old unemployed man in New York City. On August 15, 2011, he pleaded guilty to several hacking charges. He was facing up to 124 years in prison. He then agreed to cooperate with the FBI and authorities, and over the following 7 months, he successfully uncovered the identity of many members of the group. He only served 7 months in prison, and then he was free to go with only 1 year of probation. Various other rival hacker groups stated that they knew all of the identities of the members of LuLzSec, and this is also why most of the group was thought to disband. A few days before the group disbanded, the FBI executed a search warrant on an Iowa home rented by Loriella Bailey. The FBI interviewed her for hours and confiscated her hard drives, but no charges were filed. Bailey claimed to have contacts within the group and spoke with them periodically, but she said she was not a member. Then, on June 27th, the FBI searched another home in Ohio. However, the FBI never released any names of those who were involved, and this led most people to believe that this was the member M. Nerva, who was originally suspected of leaking a number of logs to the authorities, including that of Ryan Cleary. Then, on July 19th, the member T-Flow from London, who was a 16-year-old male, was arrested for computer misuses. And even on the same day, the FBI arrested 21-year-old Lance Moore in New Mexico for stealing of thousands of documents that LuLzSec released from their finale. And on July 27th, Jake Davis, also known as Topiary, a 17-year-old male from the Shetland Islands, was charged for running several DDoS attacks from confiscated computers which ran on various different virtual machines. And the details of the attacks were done on Sony and were found on the PC as well. And he was one of the main members of LuLzSec. On September 22nd, the FBI arrested Cody Kriegsinger, a 23-year-old male from Phoenix, Arizona. He was arrested for assisting LuLzSec against Sony. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of unauthorized impairment of a protected computer. He was sentenced to 1 year in federal prison and 1 year of home detention and a fine of $605,000 in restitution to Sony and 1,000 hours of community service. And on March 6, 2012, 2 men from Great Britain and 1 from the US and 2 from Ireland were charged in the connection to their alleged involvement with LuLzSec. On August 8, 2013, Reynaldo Rivera, age 21, was sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in federal prison and to perform 1,000 hours of community service and to pay $605,000 to Sony. And the person that had to serve the most amount of time was Jeremy Hammond, who was sentenced to 10 years in prison in 2013. And as of today, he is the only member who is still in prison as of the recording of this video. He was arrested for the involvement in most of the attacks that LuLzSec had done. The authorities found him through Cebu. After the group disbanded, most of the members got arrested and the team completely ended. All of the members got released from prison except for Jeremy Hammond. Cebu, also known as Hector Monsegur, was the leader of the group and led the authorities to find most of the members. Cebu actually denied this, saying, "I wasn't identifying anybody," but if you look at the court document on page 9 section B, Monsegur assists the law enforcement in identifying and locating LuLzSec members and affiliates. And as well as on page 11, it specifically mentions where he helps the FBI identify their physical location through chatting with them online, not by asking through indirect means. Because of this, most people think of Cebu as a snitch, and especially the current members of Anonymous, because his role ultimately brought down the rest of the group. He was doing most of his interviews in 2014, but now is currently working for a cybersecurity company. T-Flow, Mustafa Al-Bassam, was arrested at 16 by the FBI and released to have no internet for 2 years as well as 500 community service hours. He then co-founded a company called Chainspace, which was acquired by Facebook in 2019. He was listed on Forbes 30 under 30 and is currently obtaining a PhD in Information Security Research Group at University College London. He also has done multiple talks since then, including being on TED Talks. Topiary. He was most famous for hacking the Westboro Baptist Church live on air. Jake Davis went to jail for 38 days and then was electronically tagged for 21 months and was not allowed to be on the internet for 2 years. Currently, he works for a cybersecurity company, attends TED Talks about hacking, and says he occasionally will test security of many websites by legally hacking them to test vulnerabilities for fun. There isn't much information on the other members of the group, and some were actually never even caught and remained completely anonymous from prosecutors. The group was very underrated for what they actually did. They were able to bring the attention to those who didn't have enough security, like hacking Sony a total of 7 times in 2011, as well as hacking high-end officials who used the same password on multiple accounts. The group raised internet security to what it is today, and without them, ethical hacking probably wouldn't be where it is today. And who knows, maybe some of them are still out there still conducting hacks that we will never know about.